Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Cappuccino behind the scenes here at another great episode of Let's Talk Local. We are here today with my man, Kent Deke Jones. Kent, man, how you been?
Life is good and blessed beyond favor. It's wonderful. Which, what else can you ask for? And listen, if you are a small business owner, you want to hang on because we've got a great show that can level your business up. So stick around because this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, and too, I know we haven't talked in a while together on camera.
Right.
First and foremost, if you like what you see here today, don't be afraid to go to the old Google box, hit YouTube, 216 Creator Studios. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ding that bell for the future notifications. We appreciate the support. So summer's it goes fast, Ken.
Yeah.
Any big things that you've done in the community? You did that music fest, right?
Well, yeah. So we've got the McHenry Music Fest coming up here in September, and it's a great event that gives a lot of money back to the city of McHenry. Some big names coming in. I volunteer time on security.
Yeah, you're the security guy.
Yeah, I'm the guy who's like, help. Yeah.
Right. How was the fireworks show?
We went to Lakemore Fest. If you have never, book it next year because it's one of the best firework. It's better than, it's the best one in Chicagoland, I think. It's even better than a Navy Pier. It is amazing what that little village does and puts on every year. It's a great event. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about today's guest. But before we do that, we got to get paid.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to Shanty Canine and Spa. Pamper your pup the peaceful way. At Shanty Canine and Spa, we believe every dog deserves a gentle, calming grooming experience, from soothing baths and stylish cuts to nail trims and spa treatments. Your furry friend will feel relaxed, refreshed, and looking their best. It's a stress-free atmosphere, full-service grooming, personalized care for all breeds, and spa treatments are available. Whether it's a quick cleanup or a full spa day, our compassionate professionals treat your dog like family. Book your appointment today at shantycaninespa.com. That's SHANTI caninespa.com, because your dog deserves more than just grooming. They deserve Shanty. And you just took Chewy there.
We brought Chewy there. I got a little Brashan Shih Tzu that we brought there for some reason. Now we have a Chihuahua. I don't know what happened. No, just kidding, folks. Listen, he is the most stressed out. This dog licks everything because he's stressed out all the time. Everything's nervous all the time. This is the only place I was able to find that he is chill. It becomes part of his home. They're so friendly with him, and they're part of our family here at 216 at this point. And we're happy to bring our dogs there. So listen, folks, if you're looking for a change, or if you're looking to get your dog groomed or done, it is a spa. They take care of your animal as if you would take care of your animal.
Absolutely. And no stress. The dogs absolutely come out relaxed, happy, wagging their tail.
They look great too.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, hey, today I'm excited because we've got another guy with a great haircut. Asa Naselli.
Yep.
Right? Asa Naselli. And he is founder, owner of Shipwright Consulting Group. Right? Welcome in, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I'm excited. So for those of tuning in right now, tell us what Shipwright Consulting Group does.
So we are a marketing and sales consulting firm. What that really means in English is we take care of everything from lead generation all the way to how you handle those leads and how you actually make money for your bottom line.
Awesome. Now, and I know for everybody out there who owns businesses, you've been bombarded with the big companies. You've been bombarded with local companies that claim to do all this. But you've kind of niched yourself out. Tell us how you came up with the idea and what motivated you to do this.
So, when I was working in the agency world, I saw a lot of really expensive services from the agencies that I knew we were missing a huge portion of our market because the prices were so high. So, really, how we came up with the idea, we prayed, asked the Lord to give us wisdom, and He did give me wisdom on how to do it, and it seems to be working out. What the plan was rather than doing everything in house, which brings in a ton of overhead.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. And so the pricing isn't that ridiculous when you consider all that, but there's very few businesses that can actually afford that. And the competition for those businesses is very high. Now, there's a whole bunch of small businesses that we saw an opportunity to bring, that enterprise level work to the quality at a very low cost.
Yeah.
So what we did was we reached out to a bunch of vendors. We actually started interviewing these vendors. We started vetting them, making sure they actually knew what they were doing. And we have a huge network of actual, high quality marketing specialists that we source all of our work out to. And really, they give us a great deal because we're just letting them do what they love to do, which is fulfillment.
Yeah.
They don't have to talk to the client ever. I talk to them every now and again. We communicate, but Shipwright handles all the client communications. The other reason this is super helpful is because with most marketing companies, they don't like working only on one service because there's other agencies that are working on other services.
Right.
It can either become competition or just there's no communication between the two. And the business owner doesn't like that because then they have to talk to like 6 different people and they get 6 different reports. And then they're trying to figure out what these reports mean in coordination with each other. Where Shipwright comes in, we consolidate all that. We bring your marketing into a centralized hub where we help understand what each service is doing, each channel of your marketing is doing. We make the metrics make sense, and we connect it all back to your P&L. And then the business owner only has to talk to one person, and they have a clear picture of what their business is doing and where it's going.
I love that. And when I say we've all heard it, and we've got somebody who just graduated college with their degree. You were in the C-suite
Yes.
of marketing,
Yeah.
right?
I was chief strategy officer of an agency. Yeah.
So you know.
I know.
So this isn't like something you Googled and said, yeah, I think I can do this.
No,
you were in
Yeah.
the C-suite. I mean, that's impressive, right?
Yeah. I started my journey with Google Ads,
Wow.
which once again, I was praying about what to do with my life and a career here in Crystal Lake. And the Holy Spirit told me to buy a computer and start taking marketing classes. So I started doing that within a week. A young lady from the church that I go to came up to me and told me, "Hey, are you looking for a job in marketing?" My first initial response was, "What are we talking about here? Multi-level marketing? Like, what are you talking about?"
Right.
She was like, "PPC, Google Ads." I was like, "That's exactly what I'm looking for." So I got a job, I think it was April 5th. That was like the end of March, and started learning everything. And once again, it was a rough start because I had never done it before. But once again, the Lord led me to a bunch of mentors who were able to teach me more than I could have ever learned on my own.
I love it.
And that really kick-started because at the end of the year, we had our year-end reviews with our boss, and he's like, "I don't know what you've done over the last 6 months personally, but whatever it is, keep going because it's working." And we started seeing major improvements in the service that we were giving. At the end of the year, I also found out we were pregnant, my wife and I.
Congrats.
And so when we were pregnant, I had to go to my boss and say, "Hey, what you're paying me is not going to cut it. We need a little bit more." And he was like, "What do you want? Name your price." And it was a very gracious offer.
Wow.
And he gave me exactly what I was asking for. And from there on out, I started actually working as chief strategy officer for that agency. The really beautiful thing about this was I got to learn the inner workings of the agency. I got to see where the gaps were in what we were offering. And that time came to an end with that agency. And at that moment, we started Shipwright Consulting Group, my partner and I, who my partner actually founded the company in October of 23, and I
Okay.
joined in February of 24.
Nice.
And we launched September of 24, full throttle.
That is awesome. And so when it comes to that, what is the biggest myth, I guess, or
Oh.
I don't even know if it's a myth, right, Asa? I'm a small business guy, and I can Google something, and I'm good at, being a plumber.
Yeah,
I'm just going to
sure,
use that,
sure.
right? And I have a couple of trucks or two, me and a couple of guys, and then I go, let me go out to this website because it's free, and I'm going to do right. I mean, so what is your specialty at Shipwright is working with small to
Correct.
medium-sized
Yeah.
businesses, right?
Yeah.
Where do we fall as business owners thinking that we can put all this together?
Yeah. So one of the gaps is thinking that you can do it,
Uh-huh.
because some businesses can, but should you?
Right.
Right. As an owner, I heard it said the owner of the bakery should never be the baker. Right. If you're doing fulfillment as an entrepreneur, you're not an entrepreneur. You have a job.
Yeah.
Right. A CEO is not an entrepreneur. He's a CEO. The focus is really, what are you trying to accomplish as a business? If you're a small business, you're looking to grow, well, delegation is necessary for that. And why delegate it out to somebody who's going to charge you, $100,000 a year when you can get it for $30,000 a year, right?
Right.
Through an agency. Now, some agencies might charge you $100,000, and some might charge you, $1,000 a year.
Right.
The problem is the difficult thing for a business owner is knowing what BS is and what is not.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
And BS is not business solutions.
It's not business solutions, right? What is, there's a lot of people out there who, took a couple of courses like
Yes.
I did.
Yeah.
They started selling, and they're really good salespeople, but they don't know what they don't know. And so they end up giving really bad results. And then the business owner is burned. Then when I talk to them, they say, we've tried it before. I'll give you an actual example of this. So I signed a client here in Crystal Lake, and her conversation with me before she signed was, "You're not going to ghost me, are you?"
Wow.
And I was like, that seemed random. What happened?
Yes.
The last 3 agencies she's worked with, or freelancers, ghosted her after 3 months because they got their 3 months of pay. Now they're on to the next one. Right.
Wow.
So there's malicious intent, and then there's just ignorance.
Right.
The big thing though is for that business specifically, she probably could do a decent job of marketing her own business. I mean, she grew it to where it is.
Sure.
However, should she?
Right.
Is that going to be sustainable for growth? Or is it necessary to bring on a partner who can actually help you grow your business and take that off your plate so you can focus on being an entrepreneur, right? And growing, scaling, making sure that things are sustainable, hiring. So,
And that's huge, right? Because the space that you're in, you're bringing massive knowledge on from your background. You worked with large companies,
Yes.
and now you're like, there's a spot that we're missing that we need to take care of, and you've been called to take care of that, right?
Yeah.
So as you're doing it, what give us a story. You don't have to necessarily say the business unless you want to, of what you've done to help somebody.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about one in the green room. So
So I'll give you a recent story and an older story. One's with a business here in Crystal Lake in downtown. When we took them on in April, they were struggling for clients. They really needed clients. It was a moment of we have to change something. Took them on. We just did organic social media, which most people hear and they say, scam, right? But we were just doing the basics, the fundamentals of it, just doing it right.
Yeah.
May was a record month for them. And that was the only change they really made, right? And so mid-May, they started seeing the trajectory, and they're like, well, let's start SEO, right?
Right.
And SEO traditionally is synonymous with scam.
Yes.
And so we started SEO with them. June was another record month. I just met with them at the end of July, and the owner was telling me, we're booked out as far as I think we can be.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
like this is good. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work on hiring somebody or, expanding. Right. And then another story. So that was with a probably what would be considered a small business in the banking world.
Yep.
A much bigger business was a Bezos funded company, subsidiary of the Washington Post. When we took them on, they were doing about 10 million a year, and they needed to be making a lot more than that. So one of the strategies I was looking at when we took them on, without getting too into the weeds, with most businesses that seem to be making a lot of revenue, you have to consider, is this returning revenue or is it new revenue, right? Because every business knows you need new customers to grow your business, right? So we just simply figured out what their new cost per acquired customer was, figured out, what threshold we needed to be at, and we started aiming our Google Ads campaigns with them in coordination with SEO efforts that were done in-house, as well as website maintenance in-house, and really changing the design and how it felt for the customer. We started aiming our Google Ads at new customers. All of a sudden, they built a $63 million pipeline through Google Ads, SEO, and a new website design in less than a year. I think it was like 10 and a half months. And they only spent on Google Ads in ad spend $264,000. And they closed 50% of that 63 million.
Holy buckets.
In less than a year. Now, that kind of stuff, it's like, it seems like such a big thing, but it was such a simple solution. A lot of marketing teams like to overcomplicate things. When in reality, it's, I have more in common with an accountant than I do with most marketing teams, because I'm looking at, what does your P&L say? Am I getting you in front of new customers that are driving your bottom line up? And then we take a look at, all right, your sales commissions, do those interfere with your profit, right? Are they based on, gross profit margins, or are they based on the entire revenue? Because if they're based on gross profit margins, then you have actually a profitable client rather than based on revenue. If I bring in $1 million customer, I get paid 10% on that, but it takes $2 million to fulfill. Well, you're losing money. And so those are the things that we look in and we really help with. So that's why I say that we have more in common with an accountant than we do with marketing teams.
So just chime in a little bit. You know what I love? I love the fact that, first of all, you say competition, but you also know those competitions based on communication are just partners you haven't dealt with yet. I preach that all the time. And listen, as a business consultant and a resource specialist for what I do for my other businesses, everything you're saying is 100% true. Overcomplicating, in these companies, when they overcomplicate things, they do it so they can throw a price tag on it, because you don't know the simple solution. And when you go through somebody's we say bootstrap to SMB market, small business market, right? They're being gouged. And that's ridiculous. I love the solution you put together for that, because it's a win-win, right? When I consult for a company, I usually tell them, you need to organically grow to a certain point. And yes, you're 100% right on if you're an entrepreneur, you shouldn't be working the job. Unfortunately,
to a certain point.
Right, to a certain point. There's a time when you got to work on it, not in it. Now, people don't understand that when you're starting a business, they usually go, this is my capital. This is how much I have to play with. And here are my fixed costs, right? So when you do a cost analysis, you're like, where can I cut my corners to save some money? Well, we'll just jump on Wix. And we'll build our website. I tried
not to say that name. Thanks, Drew.
And Wix gets in that check, right? And listen, and that's okay, but that's true. It's 100%
very true.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a solopreneur and you start a t-shirt line for yourself and you're putting out that one page and you're doing all your own marketing, but also if you're a relationship builder, you already know a ton of people that are going to help you push that in targeting, that's great. Right. But when you're trying to reach that next level, you're already capped. You're hitting that roof. You don't know where to go. You need to focus on your mission critical processes. That's what you do for a living. Doing the handoff to grow your business to you is essential. It's paramount. Because you're going to take that as an extension of their business and
Right.
give them honest answers.
Yeah.
Now your organic growth is being more targeted growth. And that targeting growth to where you say, hey, listen, you're gaining a lot of business really fast, and that can be dangerous, just the same.
Yeah.
Right. So what I recommend is we scale back
Yeah.
a little bit. Let's feed
Yeah.
what you already have in the machine.
Mhm.
And we're able that's what I love about
Yeah.
you. That transparency. You're not going to find that in a lot of these other companies because they're wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
And they're not looking out for the little guy. Somebody finally came up with the idea, and that's you that came up with that idea. And listen, we're looking at the website here, which we can actually pop up if you'd like. There's a lot of good feedback that you're getting from your clientele.
Yeah.
You're 5 stars across the board.
If you're just tuning in, we're sitting here with Asa Naselli from Shipwright Consulting Group. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, the best way that they can do that is email, phone number, the form on our site. We want to make sure that whatever you are sending in
Yep.
is detailed. So no vague messages.
Yeah.
Reach out to us and tell us exactly what's going on. We extend transparency to you. We expect the same from those people that
Absolutely.
I love it.
work with us.
Honest answers matter.
And it's right at the bottom of the screen here. It's a good way to get in touch with them. Asa at Shipwright. That's WRIGHT Consulting Group.com. And with that said, right, we started the show off talking about a nice spa for your dog,
Yeah.
right? But what I want to do is if you're looking for a salon that feels like family, then Salon Cora is where you want to go. It's not just another appointment. You're part of a community, from nails to pedicures, expert haircuts to vibrant hair color. You and I probably okay without that. Salon Cora offers top-notch services with a personal touch. Our talented team is dedicated to making you look and feel your best, all in a warm, welcoming atmosphere where you're treated like one of our own. Whether you're stopping by for a quick mani or a full hair transformation, exceptional care is always guaranteed. Ready to experience the Salon Cora difference? Give us a call at 815-893-4340 or email saloncora@gmail.com to book your appointment today. Salon Cora, where family, beauty, and care come together. Book online at saloncora.com. And be sure to let them know you heard it right here on Let's Talk Local. So, why do you care so much about my success as a small business, right? So,
Yeah.
we know that there are large companies, Baibu and things that rhyme like that, to you name it, right? That just don't, they love you up front,
Yeah.
not necessarily love you on the backside.
Yeah.
So why is it that Shipwright Consulting cares so much about my success?
Yeah. So we are invested into this community. I mean, I go to church right down the road.
Yeah.
My son is being raised in this community, right? My partner, he lives in McHenry, and he goes to the same church, right? He's one of the elders at my church, and he, has children that he's raising in this community. We've put our roots down here. We want to make sure that this is a good place for our children.
Yeah.
In Jeremiah, it says that you should, and this is talking to the Israelites in exile.
Yeah.
We're not quite in exile,
Not
right? But it says they should plant vineyards. They should build houses. They should seek the good of the place that they're in.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. We're seeking the good of this
Yeah.
community because this is where we are. This is where we've been placed by God. So we're going to make sure that it is well taken care of.
Yeah.
And really what we want to do with this is make sure that we're faithful with what we've been put in right now,
Yeah.
which is Crystal Lake and McHenry County. Let's just be faithful here. I've seen so many marketing agencies that refuse to work in their local area because they're worried that they'll run into the client at
I'll
the
see him
gym.
in Jewel.
Yeah, in Jewel, yeah. And so we're not afraid of that. And that's actually a huge selling point that we use is that, hey, look, what do you have to lose?
Mhm.
If I screw you over, I'm not going to be able to get away from you. In fact, my reputation is going to be completely trashed.
Right.
However, if I do really well, my reputation is going to grow.
Yeah.
And you'll tell all your friends. and you won't be able to escape me. You know,
Well, right.
and you won't want to.
You won't want to, right?
That proves
right.
that you're not gonna run. You're like you take the challenges head on if it's good, bad, or indifferent, and you are building that change that you want to see
Yeah.
in the world today. Apparently, listen, if you back in the day, I got a guy, right? That was the thing.
Mhm.
Why would you go? Why would you not use Philip the plumber? Because he knows your family. His best interest is for you.
Yeah.
So if you had a plumbing problem, you're like, somebody get a hold of Phil the plumber, right? You had a guy. This is part of that network build. That's building those relationships. I love the fact that you are that guy. And you want to do business in your community. You want to run into the families that you want that relationship built because they know that you got their back. Good, bad, or everybody makes mistakes. And it's okay to make mistakes in business. Otherwise, how do you grow yourself? How do you
What's
learn?
the solution?
Correct. It's never about the problem. It's about the solution. And if you're focused on the problem, you're not focusing on the solution. You guys seem to focus on your solution driven, which is awesome, and result driven, which is awesome. Question for you would be, what would your recommendation be based on somebody who's thinking about opening their own business? And is it getting a hold of you prior on their business model? Is that smarter, or is it, hey, get your ducks in a row and then reach out to me?
I'd say if you can find some trusted partners up front, find mentors, find people that are actually going to be able to give you wisdom. I have to shout out Hunter Scott from Strata Cloud Accountants because he has saved my tail so many times. Just because he's been doing it a lot longer than I have, and he's been able to speak into my business. He's an accountant. He's not my accountant. I'm not using him, not paying him, but he is a good friend. And once again, he goes to the same church that I go to.
Right.
So having that community is so important, and getting your ducks in a row. I wouldn't recommend anybody invest a bunch of money into marketing unless they have a proven product, because this goes to the good, bad, and the ugly. Sometimes businesses do just not work with marketing, and it's really because their product isn't a winning horse product. They have friends and family that are kind, or maybe not so kind, that want to support, and so they just buy it out of kindness. But the product, if you pitched it to somebody who does not know you, does not care about you, has no reason to buy from you, would it still stand? Is your offer that good? Is your messaging that good? And that's how you prove a product, because marketing will prove your product for better or for worse. I've had experience where somebody wants to dump 30 grand in Google ads a month. They do it for several years, and they're like, why isn't it selling? And it's like, why should they buy from you?
Right.
You haven't told them why you should be the person they buy from, rather than the guy down the street who has a better offer, who's messaging them, who's picking up the phone the minute that the customer calls.
It's usually customer service.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's a huge thing. So I would say, for the business that's just starting up, make sure you have a solid business plan. Make sure you're surrounded by people who have proven that they know what they're doing. And then make sure your product is actually sellable, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean scalable, but sellable. Because scalable, actually, as we're moving into the world of AI, everything that's scalable can be replicated. Find that part about you that is not scalable or replicatable, and really capitalize on that. That's why we capitalize on, I'm right down the street. Sure, we might have the same service as somebody else and they could do it just as good, but are they right here? Right? Are they going to show up at your business and go through your P&L with you? Right? No, because they're in Massachusetts or they're in Florida or whatever. So that's something that we capitalize on, because you can't replicate that. So that's what I would advise to any young person or older person who's looking to start a business.
Well, that's wonderful advice. Number one, in the marketing world, and this might be a no answer, I don't know. So you help market. Do you help brand?
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah. So what we do, and I might not have explained this as well earlier. We're very transparent about how we do our work, because if you look at our pricing, you're going to think that we don't know anything and we don't have a reputation. Right. Because it's a lot cheaper than most places. But the reason we do everything and we do everything well is because we have vendors who do that one specific thing,
You're sourcing
right?
it.
We're sourcing it, and we don't source it to
No.
agencies that say we do everything, because
A
that
vetted
means you do
network. A
something
vetted network.
really bad.
Right.
You know? And so like for branding, I have a branding person out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, right? And that's all they do. They're really good at it, right? They are a PR firm that is just solid. And then I have my Google Ads team out in Arkansas. I have my SEO team in Nevada.
Yeah.
And I also have a tier 3 team for Google Ads out in Florida. And I have a tier 2 team in SEO out in, I think it's in Boston, right? And so I have multiple levels of service based on what you need, right? If you have a rehab
It's
facility,
channel.
if you have a rehab facility, I'm not going to send you the guy that has no experience with rehab.
Right.
Right. I'm going to send you to my guy that's done 2,000 rehabs in his entire career and he knows it inside and out.
Yep.
Right. I don't want to just say we do everything and then we jump into something that we have no clue about.
Correct.
You know?
And you're burning the ocean when you do that. They're
Correct.
like, well, that
Yep.
sounds a little too crazy.
Correct.
You focus on the
Yeah.
one thing, and then it leads into the other things. Yes,
Yeah.
we can handle that too.
Yeah.
We can handle that too.
Yeah. And just to be clear for anyone who's listening, the reason our prices are so low is because we're cutting the costs of client communication from those agencies, and we do all the client communication. So we are ensuring that our prices can still remain under everybody else, and we're still profitable.
So prices are affordable for small businesses.
Correct.
They're not cheap or low, right? So
yeah, you're right.
right?
It's
You're right.
affordability.
right.
Correct.
So
100%.
that's the big thing. As we were in the green room, we're like, hey, you get somebody to make your website, it's 3,500 minimum.
Yeah.
Right. And as a small business, I go,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, this weekend I'm going to go to the one where it's plug and play, and
Yeah.
I still don't know what I'm doing, but it's going to,
Better than 3,500.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Because as a small business owner, I want to save as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm living,
Yeah.
job to job.
Yeah.
And that's why I say they're very affordable.
Yeah.
They're going to seem low
Yeah.
for what you're used to.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And the value is staying the same.
Right.
So we're
Or even better, probably.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
be honest.
Yeah, probably. But the value is still there. The quality of work is still there.
Yeah.
And we look at deliverables as what causes the price increase or decrease. So for instance, that one client that we started social media with,
Yeah.
I pitched her 5 posts a week, and like my social team would be there on premises to help her with reels and with all the different stuff. And it wasn't what she needed at the time, affordability wise. And so that wasn't an issue. Got it down to 3 posts a week.
Yeah.
And there was going to be no in-person meeting with the social team, right? And it was just cut back on deliverables and give them what they need.
What they need.
At bare minimum, and that's helped us a ton.
Yeah.
Because then it's not, we're not cutting our profit margin. We're not, making our business unsustainable, because that will make you desperate, and desperate people are the worst people to work with, because
So true.
you're going to be like, why isn't my marketing going? And they're going to scramble and start
Yeah.
making excuses and lying and like all this stuff. And it's not sustainable. for
Reactive.
business.
So do you guys have a drone?
No, but I know someone who does.
All right.
I have a vendor who does.
There you go. No,
Oh, boy.
that's an insight.
There's a
So you brought up the 2 letters that
Yeah.
are the hottest letters in the universe right now, and that's AI.
Yes.
I have seen on reels and things like that, like, hey, you got a small business? I had AI create me a website in 2 minutes. It's very tantalizing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, for
Yeah.
the small business owner, you're like, oh, I can do that, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that help me out with
Yeah,
that? Because I
yeah.
don't know anything about the AI space, really.
That's
right?
a great question, because AI is such a huge, like, oh, AI can do this.
Oh yeah,
A lot of people, I've seen 2 sides of this. A lot of people are saying AI is going to take jobs and people are going to get laid off, which in some cases may be true. The other side is AI is not going to be anywhere near as good as humans.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty dang close.
Yeah.
So both have murmurs of truth. My personal thought about this, AI is the difference between riding a bike through a park and having to stop to look at a map versus riding a horse through a park. You can keep riding. That horse has eyes. He's not going to hit anything.
Right.
Right. And you can read your map while you go. Right. The other way you could look at it is it's like a calculator. It just makes it more efficient. Right. And so it could cut jobs, or it could remove those low level jobs and actually promote everyone else to be managers of the AI.
Yeah.
Right. Because it still needs a human touch. I'll give you a really, interesting example of AI. So with Google Ads is run off of an algorithm, an AI algorithm, your bidding strategies that you use. It's fed off of the data you give it. So if you give it a whole bunch of bad data, you're going to get bad results. But it will be doing its job, right? Its deliverables are being fulfilled. It was on the human part that you failed to give it the right data.
Gotcha.
So you need somebody to watch your Google Ads to make sure the right data is being filtered into the AI. Right input will give you the right output. If you say, AI can run my Google Ads, I've had this happen, and it'll be like, oh my gosh, we're getting 176 conversions this week. Like, this is amazing. And I ask the question of, what is a conversion? I'm not sure. I think it's a form fill. All right. Well, how many form fills have you gotten in your email? None. Okay. So it's not a form fill. Right. And then you go look a little deeper and you find out that AI created Google Ads, smart campaigns or whatever. They automatically set that conversion to a page view. So anybody who hit your contact page view is now.
But I wouldn't know that.
Conversion.
Right.
You wouldn't know that.
Right.
Unless you look at it and you see, what is it being trained to do?
Feel good.
And then if you run that long enough, to turn that ship around is going to be a nightmare, versus just getting it at the beginning, having a human control who knows context, right, and knows the weird little tricks. It's like Bill the plumber probably knows that if you kick the toilet in just the right way, right, it'll
shake the handle. Yeah. Shake the handle.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's it's that kind of stuff. You need human engagement with the AI, because even with ChatGPT, if you write a sentence in it and it gives you this great looking output, but they completely misunderstood the context, and you're like, no, this was the context of that conversation for that email, right? And you have to go back and give it the right data to work off of. That's how I view AI as. Humans will still need to oversee the AI in order to get the right data.
I was having coffee with a networking group, Bro MC, and shout out to my Bro MC people. And we were talking about AI, and I'm just sitting back and I'm kind of giggling a little bit. Now you're young, so I'm old. And what I love to do is, so I raise my hand, and then I go, this actually sounds like the conversation we had about the interweb back in 1998. I go, I remember sitting and having coffee with people like, this thing ain't going to work. Oh, it's going to replace, it's going to take over. It's going to take over. It did, right? But now again, in your pocket computer, in, all your tablets, and now your cars, it's the whole thing. But this is the same conversations we were having about the internet back in the 90s, going, it's never going to catch on. And oddly enough, now AOL just turned off all of their dial-up this week.
Well, the crazy thing, too, is with AI, no one actually knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So we can speculate all day, but at the end of the day, it's like, we'll see.
You learn adaptability as you move forward, because everything changes. It's dynamic. Everything works dynamically. Yeah. So you have to change with it. And the fear of it taking all these jobs away, but you're not looking at what the jobs are that it's building for you.
Yeah.
If you have more time, like you said, if you have more time, because AI is helping you, utilize it as the tool it's meant for.
Yeah.
You don't create your entire business off of. I know guys that write books on AI and they're like, I wrote a book. No, you didn't.
Yeah. I'm an author.
Right.
I'm a developer.
Look at me.
That's me.
But at the same time, if you You watch the trend.
Yeah.
You see where it's at. Utilize the tools for what they're worth. You learn how to adapt. And sometimes it takes failure to learn how to adapt, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Right. But for having somebody in the world of that knows a little bit or a lot of go find the
Yeah.
who that knows the how.
Now,
Yeah.
You know, absolutely.
now again, if you're just tuning in, this is the back end of it. Rewind this thing and go from the top. But I'm sitting here with Asa Naselli from Shipwright Consulting Group, and right there below my finger is how you can get in touch with him. Now, listen, I know people in this space. I know a lot of people in this space, and I've worked in this space for a little bit. But I'm going to tell you, if you're a small business owner, from the bottom of my heart, get in touch with Asa and just have a conversation, right?
It doesn't cost you a dime to have a conversation.
Right. Because Shipwright Consulting Group literally cares about your success, not theirs. Right. And that's a weird thing to say. We here at 216 Creator Studios have said that, the whole way. Help one, and two come. Help two and four come. I mean, that's multiple. You're right.
Yeah.
That's good to great. That's how you win. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised that they don't pull the wool over your eyes. They don't smoke screen you. And as Asa said, he acts more like an accountant taking a look at the P&L, which is unique to me because I don't know of any other marketing company.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I shouldn't use air quotes because there's a lot of them out there, but that does that, right?
Well, the clicks don't mean anything if it doesn't affect your bank account.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what the bottom line means to the business owner. There's a lot of marketing companies out there that give a 800 metric report to a C-suite.
Right.
And it's doesn't mean anything to them. Their time's more valuable than sorting through data. If you can give them what their NCAC, their AOV, LTV, and MER are, they'll be set. Because they'll be able to have data that's in front of them that's not manipulated, that can give them a direction.
You have a local contact who can sit and have coffee with you to go over that data.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it data or data? What do you go with? I don't know.
No, I change
However you
it.
feel like
Yeah, I don't know either.
Like niche.
But listen, we're right on the back end of this, man. I think I could talk to you for hours because I love your passion. I love what Shipwright Consulting Group stands for, and what they're doing for the local. That's why we call it Let's Talk Local, right? So reach out again, Nico. Drop that email on the bottom of the screen one more time. It's asa@shipwrightconsultinggroup.com. Reach out to him. He's going to stop in and have a good conversation with you. Here's the wonderful thing. If you're a fit and it works, it's going to work. If not, you're going to tell them, you know what?
We work with winning horses, is what I say.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Listen, we've got to get out of here. Another good shout out to our friends over at Salon Cora and Shanty Canine and Spa for supporting and sponsoring this episode. And until we see you again, keep it local.
Yeah. Listen global.